Hey, I'm Jim Search, and welcome to Understanding Upstate, the podcast dedicated to exploring what makes upstate New York such a unique place. Each week, my co-host Rob Adler and I dive into a new upstate topic to better understand what's up upstate. And this week, we are stamping up our tickets for the Pan American Exposition, also known as the Buffalo's World Fair.
Woo!
Holy moly. Yeah, this is there's a lot going on here.
Yeah, it's I can't even remember how I stumbled on this, and I was like, holy shit, there was a World's Fair in Buffalo, and as you'll see, there was another holy shit moment as I scrolled down through this article.
And
it's
there's going to be another one too. Recent research has lent itself to another. Holy shit, y'all did this and let this go. So, but we'll get there. We'll get there soon. Speaking of getting there, you know what y'all got to do out there? Speedy Freaks, Rattlesnake Pete's, and everything in between. Y'all gotta subscribe, rate, and review our show, and share it with a friend. Remember, don't share it with an enemy, for God's sakes. Your villains in your life don't need to hear about this. Only your friends and good compatriots need to. Put a 5-star review in Apple Podcasts, and let us know your favorite upstate location, or person, or food in the review. Let us know what you like to eat in upstate New York, because I know what I like to as well.
If you love Melba, let us know. If you don't know what Melba is, put that in too, and we'll tell you what it is. But I'm not going to tell you right now.
Yeah, I can't.
But it is weird.
Can't reveal that right now. Rob, check this out. Your man has an upstate update. Man. Here it is, man. Here it goes. Yes, thank you. Thank you for blessing us with our news telewire here. So I am back on the open mic scene, if you will, hitting some mics before I go up for the for my comedy festival that I'm
which
going
I think
to
will have
is happening tomorrow.
It's happening tomorrow. We're behind the scenes. We're recording these in advance, so I'm just trying to get the timeline straight.
We're bending
tomorrow.
Time. Yeah, we're bending time right now. So we are, as per your ears, happening on September 20th, which means that tomorrow will be my appearance at the Crooked Mouth Comedy Festival. It's happening today, actually. It's from the 20th to the 22nd, but. Your good friend.
If you're listening on release day. If you're listening to this like in 2028, I can't help you. I can't help you. But hey, thanks for swinging through. I appreciate it.
I will say this. You should be listening on the release day. The second this thing drops, you got to get your ears on it, baby. So, I'm going to be at the Crooked Mouth Comedy Festival tomorrow. And it's happening today. But in preparation for that, I was hitting some open mics, as I said, in New York City. I'm at an open mic. Fear City Comedy Club has an open mic. It's an early mic, but that's neither here nor there. I go up, I do my set, and then after I get off stage, the host, my guy Jonesy, goes, we're going to keep it in Binghamton for our next act. And I go, you're going to do what now?
Keep it in Binghamton.
That's what I said.
Ears.
I said, I am listening. You mean there's going to be some more upstate action on this microphone? Let's go. So he then says, yeah, we're going to keep it in Binghamton for a little bit. And then I'm going to bring up our next comic, Matt Snover. And Matt goes up. He does his set. He does great. I enjoyed what he had to say. He comes off stage. I go, Matt, wait a minute. You're from Binghamton? And he's like, yeah, I'm from Binghamton. I go, what? Where are you from? Hold on, buddy.
Right.
Where are you from in Binghamton, New York? Then Matt, I gotta put you on blast for a hot second here. Matt goes, I'm from Endwell. Sir, That is not Binghamton, New York. We're not doing that. Not on my watch.
I remember talking about Endwell in the EJ episode. That was one of the planned cities for the EJ factory.
Correct. This was Endicott Johnson's bedroom community for the company.
Right.
So, but it's a different city. It is a very you would if you lived in Endicott, or if you lived in Endwell, you would not have a Binghamton mailing address. Your address would be in Endwell, New York. So I said, Matt, unfortunately, that is not true. You are not. Sad.
We have determined that is a lie.
That is a falsehood. That is a lie, fiction, fable, my guy. Sure. You are from Endwell, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Sure.
But remember, when you're talking to a Binghamton proper from the west side of Binghamton, I'm going to say that that's not true. But
hey, he's still from upstate. So
he is. Well, he did walk it back a little bit and goes, I am from Broome County. I said, that's true.
Okay.
I can agree to that. And yes, you are still in upstate New York. However, we cannot mince words here.
Sure.
There's when you're talking to someone there, especially a Binghamtonian such as myself, we take great pride in where we're from in our city, and therefore I must tell you that you are not, in fact, from Binghamton, but you're from Endwell. We work past it.
Metro area, perhaps.
You could say that, and then when I say where you're from, I'm going to say, where are you from? And you're going to say Endwell.
Would Endwell be considered within? It's not one of the triple cities, but is the triple cities the region also around the triple cities, or is it only the three?
It's
cities?
The triple cities. I mean? It's Johnson City, Endwell, or Endicott, and Binghamton. So those would be the triple cities. I mean, to that point, you could dance around Binghamton metro area, and I'm going to say, hey, my guy. Just say where you're from. Say where you're from. Say you're from Endwell. And then we had a great conversation after that. Shout out to Matt, great comic, and good dude. He's also going to be at the Crooked Mouth Comedy Festival. He's going to be on Sunday for the brunch show. So if you're listening, go check him out. Go check me out. And then fun story. He then Matt goes, hey, you're he didn't know who I was, but he was like, yeah, do you know Mike Peters? I'm like, yeah, I know Mike. I've done his mic. He's running some shows up in Binghamton. He's great. Then he goes, hey, do you know Stephen Brown? I go, I do know Stephen Brown. Mm-hmm. And he goes, yeah, there's a comedy festival happening up in Endicott, the Crooked Mouth Comedy Festival. I'm going to do the Sunday show. And I said, I'm going to headline the Saturday show, my guy.
Oh yeah.
I'm one of the 5 people on that flyer, man. And he's like, wait, what? Holy shit. I said, yes, it is I. I then told Steve that story, and particularly focused on the Binghamton Endwell point of contention. And he said, well, I would say that too. Because if people don't know people don't know Endwell, but they know Binghamton. And I said, no. Take pride in where you're from, sir. You're from Endicott.
I mean, I feel like when people ask where I'm from, I'll say I won't say Minneapolis because I'm from the suburbs of Minneapolis, but
sure.
I'll say I'm from. But also, you can if you say you're from the Twin Cities, no one's gonna bat an eye because it is a pretty dense metro area.
Right.
I'll generally say I'm from the suburbs of Minneapolis, northern suburbs. It's very different from the southern suburbs.
Right. But you're putting the qualifier around it, right? You're saying I'm from the suburbs of Minneapolis, right?
Yeah.
If you were to say I'm from Minneapolis, someone might say, well, then where are you from? Right?
I guess it depends on the situation.
Sure.
Depends on the situation.
Well, I can tell you what will remain constant in the situations that I'm involved in is when you say to me, I'm from Binghamton, and I say, where are you from? I'm going to expect to hear either the west side, the south side, the east side,
Sure.
the north side, or the first ward. Or if you really want to get specific, you could even say South Bridge, which is below the bridge on the south side of Binghamton.
Would you say this story ended well?
Well, all's well that ends well when you say that you're from Endwell.
Did you just pull a quote from Arch Merrill? That's some beautiful Southern tier writing.
He's a poet laureate of the Southern tier. But yeah, it's a very, I've been in this situation before too. I was at a bar and almost exact same situation. We were talking. He's like, I'm from upstate. I said, where are you from? He said, I'm from Binghamton. I said, where? He said, Endicott. And I said, you and I both know that those are two very different places.
Sure.
They sound different. They're spelled different, and words mean things. So, just say you're from Endicott, or say you're from outside of Binghamton. We'll take it. I'll take outside of Binghamton.
I would, if I was one of those people, I would say I'm from just outside of Binghamton.
I'd be all right. I'd be all right with that. I could live with that. And then I would say, where are you from? And then you say Endicott, Endwell, Johnson City, Deposit, wherever. But remember, my friends, Binghamton is a special place. That, I feel like, is a solid update.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, man, it was great. It was great. He was a great dude too, man. He's a really nice guy.
Nice.
Great, good comic. He had some good riffs off, and he's working hard. And you'll see him tomorrow, or the day before, or the day after, because he might be hanging at the festival. Who knows?
Oh, yeah.
Or just go to his house. He lives in Enwell, so just go to.
There
where
you go.
Lives.
It can't be that big of a town.
Yeah. We'll post his address in the show notes so you can go visit him.
Absolutely. We'll dox him. That's totally cool.
Yeah. We'll give you a social security number as well if you're interested in really diving deeper.
That's on the Patreon. You got to subscribe to get it.
We'll put it behind the paywall so you can create your own pay. How's that sound? You guys can make your own money. All right. Exactly. I feel like that was good. I feel like we got.
You know what's not behind a paywall? Today's episode on the Pan American Exposition.
Yes.
Not the best transition, but it's going to get us there. It's going to get us
It's a transition to an exposition. How about that?
I like
some rhymes for you. All right. Well, shall we talk about the history of the Pan American Exposition?
Let's do it.
It is fraught. I'm telling you, listeners. It's fraught. If you get uncomfortable, you might need to pause throughout this because again, we got some hot business here. The Pan American Exposition was a World's Fair held in Buffalo, New York, from May 1st to November 2nd, 1901. That's a long time, actually. That's a couple months. The fair.
I feel like they usually go for a couple years, though, and we'll learn why. I think it probably winded down pretty quickly.
Yeah. There's some things that transpired that may cut it short, like some other things that were cut short. The fair occupied 350 acres of land on the western edge of Delaware Park, extended from Delaware Ave to Elmwood Ave and northward to Great Arrow Avenue. It is remembered today primarily for being the location of the assassination of United States President William McKinley at the Temple of Music on September 6th, 1901.
And that's where I went, holy shit, this is an episode.
Yeah, we got some things to talk about because listen, a lot of people have been shot in Buffalo, but man, not too many presidents. There ain't been a lot of presidents been shot. No. But you know, there's this one's special. The Pan American Exposition, often referred to as the Rainbow City, received national attention in the press and elsewhere a couple of years before, during, and after it occurred. During the exposition, more than 8 million visitors came to the event.
Pretty good.
That's not too shabby.
Pretty good.
The event was organized.
I mean, you don't have
by
Netflix at this point. What else are you gonna do?
Right.
You're gonna go to the
no
fucking World's Fair in Buffalo. Why not?
There's no Hulu. You know what I mean?
No.
You're out here. The event was organized by the Pan American Exposition Company, formed in 1897. Cayuga Island was initially chosen as the place to hold the exposition because of the island's proximity to Niagara Falls, which was a huge tourist attraction.
I dare say it still is.
I could say that too. I feel like it is one of the natural great wonders of the world. Maybe.
Indeed.
Buffalo won for two main reasons. First, Buffalo had a much larger population with roughly, sit down, hope you're sitting, folks, 350,000 people. And at the time, it was the 8th largest city in the United States.
That's fucking wild.
Which is kind of wild to think about, right?
Yeah.
And also that like 350,000 people is like a booming metropolis. Second, Buffalo had better railroad connections. The city was also located on the east shore of Lake Erie, serviced by 12 steamship lines, and was within a day's journey by rail or steamship for over 40 million people. So it's like a hub. This is one of the major hubs
accessible
in the country. The Pan American Exposition was distinctive from its former predecessors in that it was the first exposition to employ a central theme in its overall design and layout, employing extensive lighting on and about the buildings and other structures, along with color and sculpture to obtain its harmony. Woof!
And when you look at all the pictures are black and white, of course, from 1901, but they have a lot of night shots of the buildings at the expo, and they're like, yeah, there's light bulbs all over these goddamn things. Like even in those older, kind of shittier pictures, it still looks, pretty cool. It looks pretty cool.
Dare I say lit? It might have been very lit. It was also the first exposition with a global unifying theme that emphasized the concept of Pan-Americanism. Now, I think it's important very quickly to define what Pan-Americanism is.
Sure.
So that our speedy freaks, rattlesnake Pete's, and everything in between knows what that means. Repurposed, in a nutshell, Pan-Americanism is unifying all of the Americas, North America, South America. It is all together. We are all working together up and down the great Americas that exist above and below. Now, we can say that, but I think it's important to put those in terms of 1901. And I say that as a file it for later because we're going to get into some of the events and attractions. Woo, dogs. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, at the opening of the Pan American Exposition on Dedication Day, March 20th, 1901, a procession led by Vice President Roosevelt who was attended by a number of dignitaries, which included Governor Odell of New York, Conrad Deal, Mayor of Buffalo, Senator Hanna of Ohio, and Senator Gallinger of New Hampshire. Leading the military division of the parade was Louis Babcock, Grand Marshal of the Exposition Parade, which is also included the 1st Division consisting of the 71st Regiment Band and other military brigades. So this is the big shit, right?
Yeah.
This is, we got a lot of powdered faces and wigs just piling through the city, baby. It's happening. Now, the procession passed over the monumental Triumviral Bridge, which passed over Mirror Lake and proceeded to the Temple of Music. More than 100,000 people were in attendance. At the temple, they listened to various keynote speakers where the idea of the America for the Americans was emphasized. Now, Rob, do you know what else was happening at the Pan American Exposition?
I mean, I feel like you're going to tell me.
Oh, I'm going to tell you. Because what was happening there were some other exhibits called Darkest Africa.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
boy.
Not a good look. NAGL, by today's standards. Xavier Penne, under the aegis of the Buffalo Society of Natural Science, applied for the Pan American Exposition Board for a midway concession to be named Darkest Africa. Now, I should point out, Xavier Penne was a French national who grew up on the west coast of Africa, who traded ivory, ethnological artifacts, and people.
Oh, no.
Yeah. This one's not aging well. But again,
I feel like there's some people at the time who would have, also taken issue with that.
yes. And we will talk about the black people who were not happy about this. Then also it does in fact give birth to to the radicalized movement of W.E.D. Du Bois. So we'll get there. Now, so what he ends up doing, right, is he brings roughly 40 African folks to the exposition, and they are there to then be on display for those to watch and be entertained and learn from. Yes, this is what's happening at the Pan American Exposition. No bueno, guys.
Not good.
Visitors paid 25-cent entry fee at the gate to view displays and walk through the midway and enjoy the spectacle of people watching, spectacle strong, for a mixture of learning and entertainment. That is also going to be in quotes as I'm saying it out loud. Now,
sure.
It doesn't end there, my friend, because across the street from this was another attraction, the Old Plantation.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Who the fuck?
Yeah.
They not have a PR person working here? Like, Jesus Christ.
Not even a little bit, my guy. Not even a little bit. So it was there where black actors portrayed the South prior to the Civil War. And I'm going to let you fill in what was going on there. It was a display designed to reinforce the dominant social order by catering to racial stereotypes. Now, it's not, and here's the thing, right? Because obviously this is fucked up and it's horrible that these things were occurring. Yeah. With that being said, there was a strong push for the Phyllis Wheatley Club for Colored Women in Buffalo to put on an exhibit highlighting the achievements of black folks in America at the time. Much pushing, much fighting to make this happen, and then it did. So it was great. However, to the shock of no one, little publicity was given by the Exposition Committee. They were placed in the Liberal Arts Building, and it was put far away from where people could actually go see it, but it was actually more informative and educational than the racist bullshit that was happening at the Midway. Okay. Now, this gave birth to the Niagara movement, right? Which was black empowerment led by W.E.D. Du Bois, which was very much on the other side of the more palatable approach of Booker T. Washington. And so this essentially sparked yet another fire under the asses of many folks to say, this is bullshit and this is not something we should be fucking with. And also, in addition to that, was part of the civil rights movement in Western New York, which could be an entire episode in and of itself.
I was just going to say that needs to be on the list.
Yes, it would be great for us to jump in there. But I wanted to highlight that as a part of our events and attractions, because we here at Understanding Upstate would not be doing our job if we did not tell you everything that is happening for these fun and footloose and fancy-free events that were occurring
Jesus Christ.
in the 1901s area. Now, what else happened, you ask? Well, we alluded to it at the top, but the assassination of President McKinley. Presidents got popped, baby. I feel like he's one of 3 that have been killed.
He was the 3rd. I don't know if anyone's been.
Well, there's Lincoln.
After. There's been attempts.
Right.
There was someone before Lincoln. He was the 3rd. But the other ones weren't assassinated in upstate New York, so I can't tell you.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who this Lincoln and Kennedy guy are, but if they were to be, if you get shot in Dallas, do Understanding Dallas, right? We're Understanding Upstate, baby.
I was not counting JFK, so yeah, there's definitely been 4.
Who's the 4? It's McKinley, Lincoln, Kennedy. And who's the 4th? That has been killed.
Garfield?
Oh,
after Lincoln. Yeah.
Shit, man.
4 sitting presidents. Yeah. Garfield. Look, it did happen in upstate New York. Let's see. Where did it happen?
If you say Enwell, I'm going to lose my shit. You got shot in Enwell?
In Washington, D.C. Baltimore.
Oh, man. Well,
nope. At the Baltimore Railroad Station in Washington, D.C. Though he died in Jersey.
Got it. Okay. I was going to say, if he was shot in Baltimore. I've been watching The Wire, so yeah, that makes sense.
That's right. We're learning so much today. So much.
Yeah, this is a collaborative journey here. All right. Let's get into the assassination of President McKinley up in old Below, New York. The 718, baby. Or no, 716. I walked that back. The 716. This was the location where United States President William McKinley was assassinated by an anarchist, Leon Kozlowski.
Good luck with that last name.
Yeah, there's a lot of...
CZOLGOSZ.
C-logs?
Let's say Leon C.
Let's go with Leon C. for the sake of our listeners and my brain. Leon C. Was shot. He shot President McKinley at the Temple of Music, September 6th, 1901. The president died 8 days later, September 14th, from gangrene caused by the bullet wounds, which not uncommon for the early 1900s. McKinley's last words from a favorite hymn were, "Nearer, my God, to thee, nearer to thee." Well, McKinley's presence at the Exposition was widely advertised by newspapers and magazines, which played a significant role in attracting many thousands of people and one assassin to the event. Of his visit to the Exposition, McKinley's Secretary of State, John Hay, remarked, "Never had I seen him higher in hope and patriotic confidence." Pride comes before the fall, baby. His arrival was a source for great concern for the Secret Service, makes sense, the Exposition Police, and others who were assigned to McKinley's security. The year before, a plot to kill the president had been discovered, while 2 other world leaders had recently been assassinated. Man, they're just popping these dudes left and right. Yeah. Normally, people who would draw near to the president were required to have their hands empty and in plain sight. But for reasons not clear, this rule was not strictly enforced.
As you'll see, it's a lot of just like, if people had just done their job, or like just a real, I don't want to say it's not a comedy of errors, but man, a lot of loopholes allowed this to happen, basically.
I feel like this is like in like this would be like equivalent to like getting on a plane and they're just like, hey, what's in that trench coat? What's in that briefcase? You know what? You seem nice. You got an honest face.
Yep.
Get in here. I'm going to take you at your word.
I cut a lot out of this section, but Leon C. basically, like, he had staked out the expo well in advance. I think there was a shooting range at the expo, and he like, as long as you only brought your gun to the shooting range, again, like, what the fuck were they thinking? For any of this. Man. But as long as you didn't bring your gun to any other part of the expo, you were fine. But I think he went to the shooting range first and then was like, well, then I'll just walk around the expo. So he was like staking it out. Someone noticed him and was like, yo, you can't have a gun over here. And he was like, fuck you. And they reported him, but like, again, no cameras or anything at the time. They couldn't find him. So, like, you know, right. They knew of a menacing presence at various points and just plowed forward with him being present at the expo.
Now, I do want to point out to our Speedy Freaks and Rattlesnake Pete's and everything in between, I'm not laughing at him being shot. All right. I want to make that clear. Sure. I am laughing at the massive oversights and the inability to use some what would appear to be common sense in like locking down and securing an area. Right. Because this was not done. As we now know and are seeing. Right. So McKinley enjoyed meeting the public and was reluctant to accept the security available to his office.
Yep.
Okay, fuck around and find out, I guess. Secretary to the president, George B. Cortelyou, feared that an assassination attempt would take place during a visit to the Temple of Music and took it off the schedule twice, but McKinley restored it each time.
Yep. That's what I read that and just like, Jesus Christ. Come
on. Now if you're George, right? I feel like there has to be a moment where you go, I told you so. Hey guys, I kind of told you that this was going to happen. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what to say to that. Now, we'll talk a little bit about Leon C. for a hot second here. Leon C. had lost his job during the economic panic of 1893 and turned to anarchism, so he sounds a lot like De Niro from Taxi Driver.
Actually, like everything I read, that all tracks. That's a very apt analogy, I think, or not even analogy. He was that guy, I think. And that Panic of 1893, we talked about that on our on a recent episode where we talked about those weird Western New York communities. The where we got into like the Finger Lake, what is it? The burnt over land.
Yeah.
Communities, which that panic is what led those people to like decry capitalism is not the way, and then decided to fuck each other and their spouses.
Sure. Which is
a vegetarians.
Natural response, natural swing there.
Yeah.
So he turns to anarchism, a political philosophy adhered to by many recent assassins of foreign leaders. Man, he regarded McKinley as a symbol of oppression and was convinced that it was his duty as an anarchist to kill him. Golly. Now, we're going to go to the Temple of Music.
So again, this was all at the Temple of Music. A lot of speeches had been held here throughout the fair already at this point. And it was the best place for this kind of speech to happen. Lewis L. Babcock, Grand Marshal of the Exposition, regarded the building as ideal for the purpose. So there's a large auditorium located close to the Esplanade, which might be one of my favorite words. Just Esplanade.
Oh, yeah.
Great word. Couldn't tell you exactly what an Esplanade is. I have like a vague sense of it, but anyway, I digress. It was in the heart of the fair and had doorways on each of its 4 sides. In addition to rows of chairs on the floor of the hall, had spacious galleries. Babcock spent the morning of September 6th making some physical arrangements for the reception. Floor seating was removed to create a broad aisle running from the east doors through which the public would be admitted to where McKinley would stand. Once members of the public shook hands with McKinley, what? What?
I
oh,
don't. Jeez. I feel like by these standards, this would never apply. You will not get within 1,000 yards of the sitting president these days. All right, go on.
They would continue on to exit the building. So that's nice. You get to shake the president's hand as you leave. God, I hope there's not a pandemic going on at that point. Jesus.
There was a panic, but not.
Yeah, that's true. An American flag was draped behind the president, both to screen him from behind and for decoration. Several potted plants were arrayed around his place to create an attractive scene. Besides this utility for other purposes, the ornate building was one of the architectural features of the fair. And again, when you see pictures, like, you're just like, oh, that's the Temple of Music. It looked pretty amazing.
Sure.
All right. So throughout the evening, crowds had filled the floor outside the blocked off aisle and the galleries as well, who wanted to see the president, even if they could not greet him. McKinley arrived just on time, glanced at the arrangements, and walked over to his place where he stood with Cortelyou and another of his advisors on his right. The pipe organ began to play the Star-Spangled Banner. Love a pipe organ. As McKinley ordered the doors open to admit those who had waited to greet him. The police let them in. McKinley prepared to perform his favorite part of the job, which I guess, like, meeting people. Yeah, if you're a goddamn politician, that's okay. Good. An experienced politician, McKinley could shake hands with 50 people per minute. That's not that. Wait, 50 people per minute? Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, well, that's a person,
almost
little under a person.
Second. I mean, you got 2 hands. I feel like I could do 100. You know?
Yeah, you're just shaking hands like, hey, all right.
Yeah. Like, you give one handshake to one person and a shoulder pat to the other, like, you know.
You're expediting.
Anyway, gripping their hands first so as to both guide them past him quickly and prevent his fingers from being squeezed. Smart. Cortelyou anxiously watched the time. About halfway through the 10 minutes allotted. Holy shit, only 10 minutes. He sent word to Babcock to have the doors closed when the presidential secretary raised his hand. Seeing Cortelyou looking at his watch, Babcock moved towards the doors. As the reception continued, the organist played works by Johann Sebastian Bach. That is foreboding music, generally, particularly on the organ. The procession of citizens shaking hands with their president was interrupted when 12-year-old Myrtle Ledger of Springbrook, New York, who was accompanied by her mother, asked McKinley for the red carnation he always wore on his lapel. That's very sweet. The president gave it to her, then resumed work without his trademark good luck piece.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no! He gave away his... Oh, no! Oh, man. You can't give away the good luck charm. The Secret Service men looked suspiciously on a tall, swarthy man who appeared restless as he walked towards the president, but he shook hands with McKinley without incident. Like, I would be nervous to shake hands with a president, you know? Like, it's a weird...
yeah.
They're a famous person, right? Like,
listen,
weird.
I've like met people. I've met someone actively running for president.
Sure.
And that was even in of itself like, holy shit.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You're like trying to run the country. Like legitimately trying, not like standing on the corner of Fulton Street and being
sure.
I'm the president. Like, not talking about that. Like, you honestly are like, I have a lot of people who believe in me to be president.
Yeah.
It's kind of a trip.
Yeah. No, for sure. Even like I met met the former governor, or a governor at the time of Minnesota, and that was like, oh, you're the fucking governor. All right,
you run the state. Like all of this is under your control.
Yeah, but that's a tale for another time. I may have been youth governor of Minnesota. It's no big deal. We won't get into it. We won't get into it.
You right.
Anyway, again, they're looking at this kind of suspicious dude, but there was no issue with him ultimately. The usual rule was that those who approach the president must do so with their hands open and empty. But it wasn't being enforced. That's like when a dealer, comes to or leaves the poker table. They gotta show their hands.
Right.
Same protocol for meeting the president, but they're not enforcing it. Perhaps due to the heat of the day, as several people were using handkerchiefs to wipe their brows, as one would in 1901.
And to hide their guns.
Mm-hmm. The man who followed the swarthy individual had his right hand wrapped in a handkerchief as if injured. Seeing this, McKinley reached for his left hand instead. As the two men's hands touched at 4:07 p.m., Leon C. shot McKinley twice in the abdomen with a .32 Ivor Johnson revolver, which I believe he purchased in Buffalo, concealed under the handkerchief. As onlookers gazed in horror, and as McKinley lurched forward a step, Leon C. prepared to take a third shot. He was prevented from doing so when James Parker, an American of African and Spanish descent from Georgia, who had been behind Leon in line, slammed into the assassin, reaching for the gun a split second after Parker struck Leon C. So did Buffalo detective John Geary and one of the artillerymen, Francis O'Brien. Leon C. disappeared beneath a pile of men, some of whom were punching or hitting him with rifle butts. He was heard to say, "I done my duty." Yikes.
Well,
McKinley staggered backwards and to the right, but was prevented from falling by his secretary, Cortelyou, and a couple other people. They guided him across some fallen bunting to a chair. President tried to convince Cortelyou he was not seriously injured, but blood was visible as he tried to expose his injury. Seeing the pummeling being taken by Leon C., McKinley ordered it stopped, and Leon was dragged away, but not before being searched by Agent Foster. When Leon kept turning his head to watch the president while being searched, Foster struck him to the ground with one punch. Wow.
Sit down, dude.
Wow. So let's kind of jump to some of the aftermath here. So he, again, didn't die immediately. And this is kind of weirdly how the exposition plays into this as well. The ambulance carried McKinley towards the Exposition hospital. Like literally there was a hospital like
on site, ready
hospital
for this.
On site, but like it was part of the attraction to showcase advances in medical equipment, right? So they rush him there, and it was basically built to deal with just minor medical issues, bruised knees and whatnot, like not like a gunshot wound. But it did have an operating theater. And at the time of the shooting, there was no fully qualified doctor. It was only nurses and interns. The best surgeon in the city was performing a delicate neck operation in Niagara Falls. They interrupted his procedure and like, hey, the president was shot. And he was like, I don't care. I'm like knee deep in a neck right now. I can't leave. Literally like 2 weeks later, he saved the life of a woman with very similar injuries, like identical to McKinley. So like if this other person hadn't been injured, he probably would have been there and probably been able to extract the bullet, which is kind of burying the lead. Essentially, they were unable to locate one of the bullets, and it's kind of fucking wild. They had an X-ray machine there, brand new technology. No one wanted to use it because they didn't know how it would affect him. But like it was a primitive X-ray machine, but like it theoretically could have found the bullet, right? So no one wanted it, but like didn't use it. And they also there was like not enough light in there. I don't know if it was just like skylights or what, but they had to use mirrors to direct light into the operating room onto like his wounds. Like just
holy
fucking,
shit, man.
let's get some mirrors in here, guys. Like Jesus. So again, he was shot basically in the gut, an abdominal wound, which usually meant death from an infection from gangrene. And they like loaded him up on like ether and morphine. They like they gave him a lot of painkillers. They really couldn't find the bullet. I think the doctor, he was a gynecologist. Not much experience with bullet wounds. So, they don't have light. They don't have the right tools. Like, they don't have the right doctor. This
is so wild, man.
Yeah, dude. So they stitch him up, don't find the last bullet, and give him another painkiller. They take him to a house in, I believe, in Buffalo. I think kind of where he was staying prior to the fair.
Right.
On to his apparent recovery and eventual death. Basically, he seemed to be recovering. The next day, he was relaxed. He was chatting people up. He was asking, hey, how'd they like my speech? And was pleased to hear positive reactions. Meanwhile, Vice President Roosevelt, who had been in Vermont, much of the cabinet hurried to Buffalo. Probably a good call.
Sure. As
the crisis seemed to have passed, people started to leave. This is September 9th. Roosevelt leaves for vacation. He heads to the Adirondack Mountains. Like, I don't know, man. You gotta, I think you push that vacation back a little bit until totally up on your feet, right? Like, fucking wild. I love the Adirondacks, but I don't know, man. Secretary of State John Hay had been closely associated with two presidents to be assassinated. He had been Lincoln's secretary and a close friend of James Garfield. He arrived on September 10th, met at the station by Babcock with an account of the president's recovery. Again, I think Babcock was the main organizer of the expo. Hay responded that the president would die. Yikes. I mean, he has experience with this kind of thing.
He's been around this before.
So basically, again, he's eating food. He's like doing good with soup. Okay, let's give him some bread. Then he starts to complain of like stomach issues. They're like, it's just indigestion, not the gaping bullet wound, which they had sewn up. But like, they knew that his stomach had been punctured. Just like, it's just indigestion. Meanwhile, Thomas Edison sends up who evidently invented the X-ray machine or stole it from someone else and said he invented it as he usually did. But he sent a fucking X-ray machine up from Jersey to be used. No one used it. Of course.
I think they're wanting him to die.
Yeah.
This is deeper than Leon C, man.
In 1901, people got to be suspicious of the X-ray machine. Like that's such future tech. Like we still use them today, right? Obviously more advanced, but like,
sure,
they're like brand spanking new. Anyway, so they keep giving him food. He subsequently gets worse, and he has a collapse on September 13th. Everyone's like, "Ooh, come back. come back to Buffalo." They try and get fucking Vice President Teddy Roosevelt over. He's in the goddamn Adirondack wilderness, so a park ranger has to go find him. They get specialists over. Again, I would argue they should have been there before. He, at a certain point that day on the 13th, knew the case was hopeless. And at that point, unknown to the doctors, gangrene was growing in the walls of his stomachs, and toxins were basically going into his blood. He would drift in and out of consciousness, he was known to have said, "It is useless, gentlemen. I think we ought to have prayer." Like, man.
Yeah. We gotta lead this up to God, I think, at this point.
Yeah. His wife said, "I want to go too. I want to go too." He replied, "We are all going. We are all going. God's will be done, not ours." What a way to go. And then he famously said, like you mentioned, "Nearer, my God, to thee." There are accounts that he may have been singing softly. And sometime that, this is a quote, sometime that terrible evening, Mark Hanna had approached the bedside, tears standing in his eyes. This is a long time friend, his hands and head shaking in disbelief that 30 years of friendship could end thus. When a tentative formal greeting gained no coherent response, Hanna, the friend, cried out over the years of friendship, "William! William! Do you know me?" And there ends, I believe, the tale
of Mr. McKinley.
Indeed. So yeah, really, like, a lot of balls were dropped, like, from the planning, his staff, the security, then the doctor. Like, so if anything had gone right, like, his life.
One of these, like, 7 things gone right, then he might have actually lived. But it was like, just Leon C. was like, "I'm about to get my kill on. We're doing this."
A lot of a lot of people dropped the ball. So to round things out, let's talk about the legacy of the Pan American Exposition, which, again, I think after McKinley's assassination, it went for like 3 more months. Again, usually these would run for at least a year. I can't, who's gonna you gotta shut the whole goddamn thing down.
Yeah,
at that point.
We're done.
Like, that's such a dark cloud to hang over.
The president died.
Yeah.
Here.
You can't. Anyway, so the New York State Building, which is located in Delaware Park, was designed to outlast the Exposition and has been the home of the Buffalo History Museum since 1902. Very cool. And it was designated a National Historic Landmark in 1987. And it holds the records of the Pan American Exposition Company. The Albright Knox Art Gallery was intended to serve as a fine arts pavilion, but due to construction delays, it was not completed in time. It's also the title of a West Side Gun song. Okay.
It is.
Hell yeah.
Albright Knox, featuring Chase, off of Fly God, the album.
Hell yeah. All right. The original electric tower may have inspired the 13-story Beaux-Arts GE Tower, built in 1912 in downtown Buffalo. The General Electric building is not a faithful replica. This is like, one thing wasn't completed.
Close.
This
may
have influenced something.
Sure.
They demolished the Hotel Statler in 1901. Ellsworth Statler then built a second Buffalo hotel in 1907, then a third in 23. They demolished it the year the fair happened. Oh, man. A boulder with a plaque and a flagpole marking the site of McKinley's assassination. It's placed in a grassy median on Fordham Drive in Buffalo, and at least one engine from the miniature railway that carried visitors around the fair was preserved. It is currently owned and operated in Braddock Heights, Maryland. So, not much of a legacy outside, being remembered for some pretty terrible exhibits. And,
sure,
a major political
Assassination.
I was going to say event, but yeah, assassination. I will say one interesting thing that is I guess, a legacy for this World's Fair is the Secret Service was created after this.
Well,
there, it's
like, what if we had a branch of government dedicated to protecting the president?
Yeah.
Smart guys. This was smart.
After 3 assassinations, they figured that one out. I think you do that after number 1, but I digress.
Yeah.
I digress. Jim, I don't think we will be plugging the Pan American Expo today. Can't recommend attending it. Doesn't sound like a good thing to support. However, I think there are some good things we can recommend for people to support. What might you have for our Speedy Freaks and Rattlesnake Pete's?
All right. Let's say you are very sad about McKinley's death in 1901, right? Sure. You're still fucked up about it, shaken up. It's a hard time to get through. And you need a distraction. You need something to, kind of bolster your spirits, maybe make you laugh a little bit, maybe give you some levity, to these things that have occurred over 120 years ago. I have a suggestion. I have a recommendation. It is called Upstate Understandings. It is my comedy album. Go forth and buy it. Jimsearch.bandcamp.com is a place to get it. It's also available on all digital streaming platforms, so you can download it there. But if you want a physical copy, head on over to Bandcamp and pick it up. That's the place to do it. As far as like where you can find me, jimsearchcomedy.com is a good place to look up all my show dates. I'm going to be at Putting It Out There comedy show at the Pine Box on October 3rd at 9:00. So come on out for that. And then find me on all social media at JimSearch. That is what I have for you. Rob, they've done all that. They've already got tickets or putting it out there. They bought a copy of my album. They bought 17 t-shirts because they just sort of like, they can't get enough of Upstate Understandings, but yet still have more money to spend and more culture to take in.
Sure.
What do you suggest they do?
Let's just say you were planning on going to the Pan American Expo. You're a time traveler, so don't worry about that aspect. But you just learned that it's a terrible fucking thing to support. And now you don't know what to do with your weekend. I got a couple things to fill up your time. One, you can grab my album, New York Sticky, available at brooklynfrequency.bandcamp.com. It's a great album. I've talked about it before. If this is your first episode of Understanding Upstate, listen to some other ones, and I'll talk about it more on those. Also, go check out. Also, what a wild first episode to listen to. Well, thanks for being here. They're all kind of wild. Check out our documentary that Jim and I both put together. That's a behind-the-scenes look at the making of Jim's album. It's called Understanding Upstate. It's available for free on YouTube. Link in the description there. Also, just had another comedy album and special that just came out that I shot, directed, and edited. That's available. Also, that's available on YouTube. Also, anywhere you stream or purchase your music. It's called Husky Boy by Chris Calogero. Super funny album. He's not from upstate, but he is from Jersey. So, there's a lot of crossover there between those communities. You might enjoy it.
And he's a great dude. And he's
there
funny.
You go.
So happy to support the guy, Chris Cal, in his comedy album endeavors.
Indeed. Speaking of endeavors, what are we going to endeavor to cover next week, Jim?
Well, I'll tell you like this. We're really going to be going for the gold on this one. You know what I mean?
Yep. If you can't get it based off that one, you're not trying. You're not trying.
And we want more from you.
It's true. We also want you to subscribe, rate, and review the show. Share an episode with a friend. It helps us out a lot. And again, like we said up top, if you give us a positive rating and you write some kind words and a nice positive review, preferably on Apple Podcasts, because that really helps us get in front of more ears, you can throw in a recommendation for something you would like us to cover in the future. Having said that, Jim, should we close this sucker out?
Hell yeah.
Well, I'm ready. I've got my terrible up pun ending. Here it goes. Jim, I've got my ticket for the 1901 Pan American Expo, and I need to tear it up because I'm not going to go. Let's get out of here. See ya.
Understanding Upstate is a podcast hosted by Jim Search and Rob Adler, edited by Rob Adler, and music from Regal Monk.